Welcome everybody. Very good morning. So it's our start of the week. We are right now doing Tuesday to Friday, every day 9 a.m. and 2 p.m. Verbal ability and reading comprehension. Before this, at 9 a.m. we were doing verbal ability. We were doing parajumbles and para summary and odd one out. We have done all that. We have discussed theory related to all of them. We've discussed questions. We've done them live. And these all the classes are live at the 9 a.m. and 2 p.m. But what has changed this week is that I have sort of kept grammar and vocabulary in background for a while because right now the students are more worried in getting the actual skills and not the related knowledge or the knowledge which is helpful, of course, because grammar and grammar knowledge and vocabulary knowledge is very helpful. But at the same time, solving actual questions is going to help the students. So that is the thing. We have brought up this live solving of jumbled paragraphs and live solving, which we're already doing of CAT. We are sort of reducing all the theory which we were telling, and just a little bit of theory, and then connecting it to some verbal ability or reading comprehension question. So today we'll discuss about jumbled paragraphs, which occur in with 3 to 4 jumbled paragraph, parajumbles, or para formation, whatever you call it. These questions come up in CAT every year, and they are type in the answer type questions. You have to type in the answer. So which also means that they don't have any options given in front of you. You have to type in the sequence. So it becomes difficult, but at the same time what happens that there is no negative marking, so you can you can go ahead and you can take a chance if you are confident. The thing is that if you spend a lot of time, you will lose on some important moments or time which you could have utilized elsewhere, the question which you might have got correct. So the suggestion while solving parajumbles is that if they come in, they have been coming in theta model thus far for last 4-5 years, and if they continue to do that, do attempt them, but at the same time don't spend too much time in them. Like I said, the pros is that there is no negative marking. Con is that even if there is no negative marking, it can take up some time of yours, which you could have utilized in solving, say, any other parajumble which was easier, or you could have solved, or any other para summary or odd one out, or complete the paragraph sort of a question, or any other reading comprehension or one of its questions which you could have redone or re-looked at. So dividing the time on whatever sections you're taking, it is extremely important. So like I said, we are from An Academy. This is Just Cat channel, and my name is Anupam. I have a long experience in training people and writing questions, developing actual questions for various clients. I've made questions for till GMAT level. For GMAT client, I've made questions, and probably my questions have somewhere come in some examination of GMAT, which I may because I'll never know. So yeah, but I've been a CAT trainer all my life, and to stay connected, download and install An Academy app. Go to CAT Plus, CAT courses, subscribe. You'll get many offerings, but anything more than 12 months makes sense. If you look at the pricing, this is most cost-effective pricing across the test prep companies I've come across, I've worked in, and I think it's really really helpful for you people because of the kind of courses, kind of free live classes also happens here, and free YouTube channels, of course, if you do, but there are a lot of free live classes which we do, and planning to do a lot of classes this Sunday. And apart from that, free live classes and free content which you get on YouTube, we also if you so apart from that, if you subscribe, you will get amazing insight into the CAT, because there are so many doubt solving sessions, there's so many courses which are done by so many teachers. If you don't like one teacher, you can go to a different faculty, and there are there are test series and analysis, and there are live classes in which you can ask questions, you can raise your doubts. Mostly I'm also doing a live class this Sunday. So that sort of a work, that sort of a work is something which we are doing right now. And if you look at the pricing, it is very less, 18,900 for 24 months and 15,750 for 12 months. If you use my code Saxena10, you will get this prices. If you don't, then you will get a higher price of 17,500 for 12 months and 21,000 for 24 months. So using my code Saxena10, because of trust which has been given to me by an academy, I really respect it, and I think that I'll be able to do justice to you and to the company as well. So yeah, please do it. And I think anything more than 12 months also makes sense, because if you look at when CAT is happening and when results will come and when the interviews will happen for other management entrances in CAT, and by the time joining and everything happens, it'll be anything more than six months will take. So anything within 12 months or 12 months makes sense to you, because we will be also helping you after CAT examination. So for GDPI and for grooming and for creating a case as to why you deserve a seat, we're going to help you in everything basically. So yeah, here we are. Today we'll talk a little about jumble paragraphs. I again have some actual questions which were asked in 2017. Those questions I have with me, CAT questions, and we'll solve actual questions. So basically what happens in jumble paragraphs is it's that because there is no option, and there are no options in front of you, there are no sequences in front of you. Let me just check whether it's all right, coming all right or not. Again have some actual questions which were asked in 2017. Those questions I have with me, CAT questions, and we'll solve actual questions. So sorry, I was looking at the screen. These questions are basically they've been asked, and the jumble paragraphs becomes a problem because you think that multiple chances or multiple possibilities can happen, multiple ways you start looking at a paragraph, and which is also correct. It is absolutely all right for you to look at something from a multiple areas and from multiple ways. But there are certain things, if you remember, we discussed earlier also in earlier season, I'll discuss this again, that it can happen that some ideas are together. Because of why? Because there were some common words we used. Because of a pronoun noun antonym. So if noun has been used somewhere and its related pronoun is used in a next sentence, in another sentence, so definitely these two noun sentence and pronoun sentence will come together. They'll come one after another because the noun is referring to the pronoun, right? Or say there's a however, there is an although, there is a but. Okay, there's similar contrasting conjunctions are appearing somewhere. So what happens that these contrasting conjunctions also mean that the line before it, the line preceding it, will be something which has come already, which has come earlier somewhere in the paragraph, or it will come immediately before it. This is what it means. So these kind of small tricks. For example, there are dates mentioned, so things will come in that way. For example, the one date is 4th of June, one is 5th of June, one is 10th of September. So 4th of June, 5th of June, and 10th of September, they will come in this order. All right. So if some abbreviation is given and a full form is given, generally the full form, the expanded form will come earlier in the paragraph, and the acronym or the shortened form or the short form will come somewhere in the later on after the full form has appeared. So such tricks can be used. Now I have in front of you one paragraph which we will try and solve here. I also thought that I will give you some ideas, some broad ideas, that some ideas are mentioned to set the tone and bring up an issue. Okay, Later, so what happens sometimes, they can a paragraph can start with some ideas, some concepts, say like democracy, justice, you know, education, or equality before law, okay? Right to education, right to livelihood, right to liberty, something of this sort. Some of these concepts is this modern broad concepts, and then after that some specific topic is discussed related to a problem, and then in the last line, say fourth or the fifth line, these concepts which you mentioned, they're repeated somewhere. You can also look at it in a way that, to just because you wanted to bring up these concepts at the end of the and relate them to the entire paragraph, they were mentioned in the very beginning. Okay. Also, pronoun noun connection. That if say company is mentioned, say company like Amazon is mentioned or Microsoft is mentioned, and after that it is mentioned in somewhere in the paragraph, it has done this or it will be doing this. So it is a it is a clear cut suggestion that it is referring to that very company. So their chances are that the line very after the line after this company's proper name coming, say Microsoft is coming, and after that there is something it in another line in the beginning of it. So therefore this line which contains Microsoft and the line which contains it will come one after the other. There will be a direct connection between them. So in this way, like I said, some ideas can be brought up in during an issue. At the beginning they mention, and then they are later on brought up to complete the ideas. So the four sentences labeled 1, 2, 3, 4 given in this question, when properly sequenced, they form a coherent paragraph. Each sentence is labeled with a number. Decide on the proper sequence of order of sentences and key in the sequence of 4 numbers as your answer. So it says that 4 questions are given. They are 4 sentences are given. They are sequenced and they form a coherent paragraph. Each sentence is labeled with a number, and decide on the proper sequence of order and key in this sequence of 4 numbers. So you have to, this is basically type in the type in the answer type question, in which you have to type the sequence in the text box. You will not be given options anywhere. Now, like I discussed in the beginning of the class, this kind of question has 2 sides to it, right? One is that people might people might get interested in this because it doesn't have a negative marking. Some people can get discouraged because since there are no options, they don't know how to form parajumbles, how to solve this, or if they were parajumbles, they would do it otherwise, or so. But right now they cannot do it because they need some reference point to look at it. So that's why we are here to help you in this. But the negative side is that, of course, there are options, and that it may take a lot of time so don't spend a lot of time in parajumbles. Parajumbles can be difficult at times. Try and analyze wherever you see that. Remember, so let's start reading it. What we discussed at the beginning of the course of this that some ideas we mentioned to set a tone at the very beginning itself. Okay, and then later on they're brought up to sort of complete their the idea actually here. So if you look at it, it says that impartiality and objectivity are fiendishly means very cruel, very complex and complicated. Pain, something causes pain. It's very complex and cruel. Impartiality and objectivity are fiendishly difficult concepts that can cause all sort of injustices, even if transparently implemented. So they are very difficult concepts that can cause injustice, even if you are impartial, even if you are objective, even if you are rational, and you're not partial, you're not biased, still even if you implement them in a transparent manner, they still can cause a lot of problems. Ninth, it encourages us into the bubbles of people we know and like, while blinding us to other perspectives. But the deeper problem of transparency lies in the words much more. Third line says, so A says that something it blinds us, it keeps us oblivious. It doesn't allow us to know the other perspectives, the different perspectives that we come across. And in a way it one moment, I think my so basically they say that it is blinding, they sort of blind us to the other ideas and other sort of information which you might receive, and it it encourages, or it sort of it motivates us or pushes us to, or sort of guides us into the kind of people we already know and like. Okay, and we do not know about other people or other kind of so if you see all your YouTube or Facebook or Twitter feeds or Instagram feeds, you will see that the kind of choices you make and the kind of people you try to connect to and the kind of post you like and the kind of information you subscribe to, the kind of places you comment on, those sort of places, those sort of opportunity, those sort of posts come up to you a lot, so that you consume it even more. At the same time, so what happens, it's good that you are doing something which you like to in first instance, but at the same time it's a very superficial level. You may have other interests also. You might like to know about other contrary aspects as well. You might want to talk about other stuff also which they're not talking about. So it and it says that it says something in quotes in words much more. That means somewhere this word much more has come, and probably this line will be after this line. So this second line number 2 will be after that line. Where's this line? Let's read. Twitter's website says that tweets you are likely to care about will show up first in your timeline. Based on accounts you interact with most, tweets you engage with, and much more. So Twitter's website says that you are likely to care, the tweets you're likely to care about will show up most in the timeline. You care to which you like more, which you retweet more, those tweets will come based on an account you interact with, people whom you talk to. You will get much more information and much more. And this same thing is had been said in the second line. So 3 and 2 are connected, right? But the deeper problem of transparency, quote unquote transparency, that has been mentioned here, of transparency lies in the world much deeper and much more, sorry. So whatever was said within quote has been pointed out as a cause of concern. That becomes a problem raising. There has been concerns have been raised on that very aspect, that when you say much more and you don't know what that much more is, that becomes a deeper problem of transparency, because you haven't told about what is much more. Also, it says that whatever you are already doing, that is also pushing us onto a single narrative or a single or so say to a paucity of or lack of diversity in ideas. Similar kind of ideas, similar kind of people, similar kind of posts are coming in front of us. We don't know about what the other people are thinking or talking about. Fourth says, we are told only some of the basic principles. We can see the the algorithm itself, making it hard for citizens to analyze the system sensibly or fairly, or be convinced of its impartiality and objectivity. So it says that we are told only we are only told some of the basic principles. We can see the algorithm itself. So it says that we are told that just basic principles have been told to us. We are not able to see what actual programming or what actual logic works behind it. Citizens cannot analyze a system to be fair, to analyze a system fairly or sensibly, or to be convinced of its impartiality and objectivity. So the same thing is saying that now if you see, 3 and 2 come together. 2 comes after 3. Why? Because Twitter's website and 2 says 2. 2 says it. So Twitter's website refers to the noun here. The proper noun refers here in 3 refers to point number 2, to the line number 2. It encourages us into bubbles. Fine. And why also? You see that much more is there in 3. And much more is also becomes a cause of concern while it connects it to the lack of transparency in 2. So 3 and 2 are together. But then if you see 4 takes it forward. Okay. 4 takes, because 4, if you see in 2 they use the word, it encourages us into the bubbles of people we know. 4 also says we are told. We are only told some of the basic principles, and we can't see the algorithm itself. So they're saying that we know some basic principles, but we don't know what the algorithm is all about, and it further talks about problems. Basic principles have been told. What are the basic principles? What do you care about? You will see up first, based on the accounts you interact with most, tweets you engage, and much more. But we don't know the basic details. So after 2, 3, 4 comes. And it also says that we same the problem with much more, quote unquote much more, is taken forward. It says that we can't see the algorithm itself, making it hard for the citizens to analyze the system sensibly or fairly, or to be convinced of its impartiality or objectivity. Now you see 1 comes after that immediately. Last then come ones. So hold on. Last comes so to be convinced of its impartiality and objectivity. Okay. Now 1 is left. So 2, 3, 4, we are sure that 2, 3, 4 are connected. Sorry, 3 to 4 are connected. 3 to 4 are one after the other. Where should 1 come? Should we place 1 at the very beginning, or should we place one at the very last? That is the question. Read the one again. Option number 1 again. Impartiality and objectivity are fiendishly difficult concepts that can cause all sorts of injustices, even if transparently implemented. So one thing is that you can place it after 4. You can say that, making it hard for citizens to analyze the system sensibly or fairly, or be convinced of its impartiality and objectivity. And then comes after that it comes impartiality and objectivity are fiendishly difficult concepts that can cause all sorts of injustice, even if transparently implemented. Now the problem with placing 1 after 4 is that if we have to talk about a concept, it should come before it is mentioned. One thing. One more problem is that that the word transparently has come somewhere in the second line earlier with a quote there. Okay. One more thing is that if you look at the tone, if you look at from the second line, the tone which has been taken forward, the writer has some sort of a problem with the way Twitter is talking about or informing us about its policies and what its policies actually are. So he's saying that we know the basic principles, we don't know how it works inside, or to whether it is fair or not, whether it is whether it's impartial or objective or not. Okay. And impartiality and objectivity are difficult complex concepts that can cause all sorts of injustice even if transparently implemented. It says that even if they are transparently implemented, they're so difficult concepts. How are difficult to implement? How is Twitter doing all that while having in the statement itself so much of ambiguity and room of doubt, or wherein you can say clear cut that there's an obvious attempt to hide information for its own benefit. Okay, so it's saying that since it is just promoting us to know the kind of people we know, kind of people we like to interact with, are based on our tweets and our retweets and new people we engage with. It just doesn't allow people to talk to other people, or just doesn't sort of open up them to people of other ideas and thoughts, and much more. And then much more also says a lot of things which we're not aware of. So one actually starts this very piece, and impartiality and objectivity are fiendishly difficult concepts that can cause all sorts of injustices even if transparently implemented. That is one. That's the first line. How do we solve it? Then comes 3. Twitter's website says that tweets you are likely to care about will show up first in your timeline based on accounts you interact with most, tweets you engage with, and much more. Then comes 2. Why? Because so 1 comes first, it sets a tone. 3 comes to a specific point of problem. 2 says it encourages you into bubbles of people we know and like, while blinding us to different perspectives. But deeper problem of transparency lies in the world much more. So why 2? Because there is Twitter's reference is an it of the pronoun usage, and much more mentioned in 3 has been mentioned in 2 again. And then 4, we are only told some of the basic principles, and we can see the algorithm itself, making it hard for citizens to analyze the system sensibly or fairly, or be convinced of its impartiality and objectivity. So it is 1, 3, 2, and 4. So I hope this was clear to you why this is happening. All right. Then comes next parajumble, connected ideas and extensions of ideas. Connected ideas are common words, which are common words, which are say there are some common words in so earlier we discussed about in a kind of parajumble wherein there can be thoughts or ideas which are connected in a way, which are the once broad ideas are mentioned, then a particular problem is mentioned, and then later on the problem in that example given is connected to the what was mentioned in the earlier. For example, there was a problem of integrity. There was a mention of impartiality and objectivity in the very beginning, and the last line it comes that it is making it hard for citizens to analyze the system sensibly or fairly to be convinced of its impartiality and objectivity. So So in that way. So similarly, here what happens that sometimes connected ideas come together. They are common words, okay? And sometimes connection is based on the extension of ideas. Whenever ideas are there, there is a connection of ideas. So we'll see these pointers will help us, and you will understand where I'm coming from, where I'm bringing all this when I will solve the next parajumble with you. So these are all CAT actual questions. So here it is. The woodland's canopy receives most of the sunlight. So woodland's canopy receives most of the sun. So 4 sentences labeled 1, 2, 3, 4 given in this question, when properly sequenced, form a coherent paragraph. Each sentence is labeled with a number. Decide on the proper sequence of the order of sentences and key in this sequence of 4 numbers as your answer. The woodland's canopy receive most of the sun. So this is the question. 4 sentences labeled 1, 2, 3, 4 given in this question, when properly sequenced, form a coherent paragraph. Each sentence is labeled with a number. Decide on the proper sequence of order of sentences and key in the sequence of 4 numbers as you answer. So you have to sort of again, you have to unscramble this particular paragraph in front of you. So the pointers which we had mentioned earlier were connected ideas. There's some common words, and there is some related ideas, say which ideas which are forwarded from the sentence number A to sentence number B. We see a clear-cut extension of ideas. So one says the woodland's canopy receives most of the sunlight that falls on the trees. Okay. So the woodland means, what are woodlands? Woodlands are these forest areas, areas, basically they're forest with very heavy vegetation. The vegetation can be moderate to very, very dense, and they generally have this canopy structure that the taller trees will form the canopy, and then below it, and then there'll be middle sort of trees also, which form the middle crust of this structure, and then there are shrubs and herbs and in the grass level. So it is like that. So if you visit say a trekking site or a forest, or a reserved forest, something like that, you will see canopy of this kind. So the woodland's canopy receives most of the sunlight that falls on the trees. Then comes swifts do not confine themselves to woodlands, but hunt wherever there are insects in the air. So this is a different topic. So we're talking about swift. Swift is a bird, and they're hunting for, and they do not confine themselves to woodlands. That means woodlands have been mentioned with respect to swift somewhere, and they held them also. So this is, I think, doesn't follow, is not in connection with one. Okay, they're not connected basically. With their streamlined bodies, swifts are agile flyers, ideally adapted to twisting and turning through air as they chase flying insects or creatures that form their staple tight. Okay. Okay. Then comes hundreds of thousands of insects fly in sunshine up the canopy, some falling prey to swifts and swallows. Okay. So one says woodland's canopy receives most of the sunlight that falls on trees. Then related to it is the idea that hundreds of thousands of insects fly in the sunshine up above the canopy. So above the canopy, the insects are flying, and they fall prey to swifts and swallows. So here, so they start from canopy. The canopy has sunlight, it falls on trees. There insects fly in the sunshine, and that's when there are these birds. So basically, swift as a bird, it preys upon insects. The swift and swallows. Swallow is also a small bird which is ranging from it's a small one, size can vary a little here and there, and it's fall across all the continents except Antarctica, where it's not found or found very rarely. Swift, they can actually, they are high aerial birds, and they can maneuver basically, which have been mentioned here. So first is that woodland's canopy receives most of the sunlight that falls on trees. Then comes hundreds of thousands of insect flies in sunshine up above the canopy, falling prey to swifts and swallows. Then comes with their streamlined bodies, swifts are agile flyers, ideally adapted to twisting and turning through the air as they chase flying insects, the creatures that form the staple diet. So they're saying that there is some streamlining. When they say that, they give some information about how they move and how they are able to do it, because they're streamlining. They have some physical capability, and they're able to do that. And they chase flying insects and creatures that form the staple part. So first they talk about the woodland, then they talk about the insects which fly above the canopy. Then they say that talk about the birds which hunt them, then how those birds are able to hunt. So it's 1, it's 4, then it's 3, and then comes 2, because 2 says that swifts do not confine themselves to woodland but hunt wherever there are insects in the air. So so it is 1, 4, 3 and 2. So why? So 1 and 4 is completely correct. Why 3 and 4? Because it sort of explains immediately how they're able to do it, how it is possible for them to do it. That has been explained clearly, and they've also explained that creatures which are their staple diet, flying insects flying in staple diet, and their agility and their ability to maneuver through the air, and then fly and then sort of catch the insect and eat them. That has been mentioned here. Okay. Then comes and then why 2 and 3? Because in 2 it says that how a swift bird is able to do it, and why does it, how again the body, why does it? Because insects are their staple diet. Then 2 again mentions that it gives an additional information that okay, about that that insects are the staple diet. That how they're able to do it. They're able to do it because of their physical capability. There's certain properties of the body, certain aspects of the body, such as they're streamlined, they are agile, and they twist and turn. 2 says swifts do not confine themselves to woodland but hunt wherever there are insects in the air. So it gives you additional information that it's not only woodland, but they go away elsewhere as well. So it is 1, 4, and then 3, 2. So that is how it is, 1, 4, 3, 2. So that is for now, Parajumbles. Thank you very much. This will be recorded, and please spread the word around. We're doing a lot of hard work here. I'll be also starting my Telegram and Facebook channel as well. Please go to Unacademy subscription. Please subscribe. You'll get live classes. You get to interact with the educator. You get live polls, leaderboard, test series, and analysis. live doubt clearing sessions also you will get, and referral code Saxena10, you will get 10% discount as well. So please, you get a lot of free live classes also, and you get live quizzes also, and you also get of course YouTube is there as well. So yeah, thank you very much, and use the code Saxena10, and so thank you very much.